Okay.
You're not gonna hear yourself louder, but it's for the viewers.
Sure.
Okay, so welcome backstage, and thank you for having this really detailed presentations. I think about the funds and everything. We have some questions from the viewers. I would like to provide or ask. So, how will Denmark reach the CO2 goals by 2030, and are these goals realistic?
Well, if I just can give it a take, this is a Denmark objective set by Denmark itself. It's up to Denmark to reach it. Of course, the Commission is standing behind it, but it's up to Denmark to reach that objective. If we can support them on this, very much welcome it. Of course, Denmark is very much a model for others, but of course, Denmark has some advantages in terms of having the windmills and so forth there. But this is very much a political question. But Stefan, do you have other?
No, not really. Like, this is really like a national political objective, and it's interesting to note that it's a very shared objective between the different political parties and the actors like the industry and unions, etc. as well. So with the situation as it is in Denmark, both in terms of the political will and the structure of the industry, etc., if they cannot make it in Denmark, I don't know who could make it.
That's a really nice wrap up at the end. And do you think that the COVID-19 situation backs up a little bit Denmark on reaching these goals?
So, if it's
So, do you think that the COVID-19 is setting back Denmark on its goal to being carbon neutral? That was the exact question.
I think remains to be seen. Economically, yes, but I think the Danish economy has also recovered very well. If you see, I like to see the economy as kind of a shape, and you had a V shape, a Nike swoosh. Now you see a bit of a K. In other words, part of the economy is going very well, but the services sector, the domestic service sector, is not doing very well. But overall, I think the Danish economy is doing fantastic, at least compared to many other member states in the southern part of Europe. So I think the conditions are there to reach. To have conditions are there to be able to reach the 70%. But again, it's one thing to have an objective of reaching 70%. The question is how do you actually reach that in practice? And that's going to be a very interesting journey to follow.
Well, I can basically say that one thing is that the COVID crisis in itself will, because of the COVID crisis, there will be a rebuilding of the economy. And I think I have the impression that from what all the actors say in Denmark, they will be very much kind of following the development principle of build back better. So we shouldn't go back to where we were. We should build a new economy, a much greener economy. And the other aspect is what has become evident for everybody watching is that the tens of billions that have now come out of the woodwork, that suddenly they are available for COVID measures, it means that if there is a crisis, you can find, so where there's a will, there's a way. And therefore, people who are very concerned about the climate can say that, okay, climate is actually also a very big crisis, might be a bit slower than COVID, but it's coming, and we need to address it as urgently as we're done with COVID. And therefore, the politicians have now shown that there is a possibility to find the resources if the will is there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. If that where's will, there's also action after some time at least. And then the last question, that the budget from the EU Commission, which is 672 billion, how do you decide or determine or choose which country to give the grant and which to lend a loan?
Well, it would take me about 1 hour to explain the formula, and I don't think anybody would understand. But if you look on the back in the annex of the Carbon Resilient Facility, you will see a quite complicated formula. But it's based on GDP per capita and development of GDP, population, but also on a factor that is yet based on this year's performance. In other words, the exact figures to be distributed between member states has not been set. It won't be set until we have the result of this year's economy. We have approximately figures, and that's those figures we have gone out with. But the exact number of grants and loans to member states will be decided upon next year, once we have the result of the economy.
But then these are your own calculations.
This is Commission calculations, but of course there will be part of the formula, which the formula has been determined and approved by the European Parliament and the Council.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, for answering the questions and being here with us. And we're looking forward to have you next year as well.
Okay, thank
So,
you very much.
thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Sure.